Imagine a place that contained almost all the knowledge in the world. Hundreds of thousands of books, scientists from every civilization, and discoveries that could change humanity forever, but one day, it all disappeared. This was the legendary Library of Alexandria, around 2,300 years ago, in the Egyptian city of Alexandria. One of the most ambitious projects in human history began. The rulers of Egypt wanted to create a place that would collect all the knowledge in the world. So they built the Library of Alexandria. This was not just a library. It was also a center of learning where scientists, philosophers, and scholars worked together. Historians believe the library may have contained up to 700,000 scrolls. These scrolls held knowledge about mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, geography. It quickly became the most important center of knowledge in the ancient world. Many of the greatest thinkers in history studied or worked in Alexandria. One famous scholar was Eratosthenes. Over 2,000 years ago, he managed to calculate the circumference of the Earth using shadows and basic geometry, and his result was incredibly accurate. Another famous scientist connected to Alexandria was Archimedes, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. These scholars made discoveries that shaped science for centuries. The Library of Alexandria was like the first great research institute in human history. Every ship that arrived in the port of Alexandria was searched for books and scrolls. If books were found, the library would copy them by hand. The original scrolls were often kept in the library, while copies were returned to the owners. This aggressive method helped the library gather knowledge from Greece, Egypt, Persia, India, and beyond. Over time, Alexandria became the intellectual capital of the ancient world. But one of the biggest mysteries in history is this: what actually destroyed the Library of Alexandria? There is no single clear answer. One theory says the library was partially burned during a war involving Julius Caesar around 48 BC. Another theory suggests that the library slowly declined over centuries due to political conflict and lack of funding. Some historians believe it was destroyed in several different events. But what is certain is that a massive amount of ancient knowledge was lost. Some historians believe the library may have contained discoveries far ahead of its time. Ancient scientists were already studying astronomy, advanced mathematics, engineering, medicine. If those scrolls had survived, humanity might have advanced much faster. Some experts believe we may have lost centuries of scientific knowledge. Imagine inventions or discoveries that disappeared forever. The Library of Alexandria was one of the greatest centers of knowledge ever created. But when it disappeared, countless ideas and discoveries disappeared with it. Knowledge that humanity may never recover. So the question is, how different would our world be today if the Library of Alexandria had survived? What do you think was lost in the Library of Alexandria? Let me know in the comments. And follow for more fascinating history and science stories. Imagine a place where the sum of all human knowledge was gathered under one roof. A beacon of light in the ancient world, not built of stone and mortar, but of ideas, discoveries, and the dreams of humanity. This wasn't just a library, it was the legendary Library of Alexandria. But its story is as much about its mysterious end as its glorious beginning. Born from the ambition of Alexander the Great's successor, Ptolemy I, the library was more than a collection of scrolls. It was part of a grander vision, the Museum, a temple to the Muses. This was the world's first true research university. Picture this: vast halls lined with countless papyrus scrolls, scholars from across the known world walking its colonnades, debating, experimenting, and pushing the boundaries of what was known. The air itself must have crackled with intellectual energy. This was the beating heart of the Hellenistic world. The minds gathered here were who's who of ancient genius. There was Eratosthenes, who with just a stick and his intellect, calculated the circumference of the Earth with astonishing accuracy. Imagine the moment he realized the world was a sphere and he could measure it. Then there was Aristarchus, who dared to propose that the Earth revolved around the Sun, nearly 2,000 years before Copernicus, and Heron of Alexandria, an inventor who created the world's first steam engine, automatic doors, and even vending machines. These weren't just thinkers, they were pioneers, their discoveries echoing through the corridors of time. How did they gather such an immense collection? The methods were aggressive, almost like an intellectual treasure hunt. Ptolemy's decree was simple: any ship docking in Alexandria's bustling harbour had to surrender its books. Teams of scribes would frantically copy the scrolls. The originals were kept for the library, and the copies were returned to the owners. They called this the ship library. Agents were also sent across the Mediterranean and into Asia, hunting for rare texts, armed with royal gold and a mandate to acquire knowledge at any cost. They didn't just wait for knowledge to come to them, they actively pursued it. So, what happened to this marvel of the ancient world? The story of its destruction is a tangled web of legends, half-truths, and historical debate. There wasn't a single, cataclysmic fire. It was more like a slow, agonizing death by 1,000 cuts. The first major blow came when Julius Caesar, during his civil war in 48 BC, set fire to his own ships in the harbour. The flames, whipped by the wind, spread to the docks and warehouses, likely destroying a significant number of scrolls stored there. Was this an accident of war or a targeted strike? The records are hazy. Over the centuries, the library suffered further. It was damaged during Roman imperial conflicts, neglected under changing political tides, and possibly purged by religious zealots who saw its pagan knowledge as a threat. The final, definitive end is lost to history, shrouded in the smoke of conflicting accounts. There was no single villain, but a long, slow decay, a tragic fading of the light. The true loss is immeasurable, what knowledge vanished forever. Imagine entire plays by Sophocles and Aeschylus, now known only by their titles. Detailed histories of civilizations we barely understand. Scientific treatises that could have advanced technology by centuries. Perhaps medical knowledge that could have saved millions. It's the ultimate cold case of history. The lost knowledge of Alexandria is a ghost that haunts our modern world, a constant reminder of how fragile knowledge can be and the monumental achievements of our ancestors. The story of the Library of Alexandria isn't just history. It's a cautionary tale, a mystery that continues to captivate us to this day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the mysteries of the past.